this is the site of the fight. The new $4 million War Memorial Auditorium in Syracuse, New York. We're about to see Kid Gavilan, the Cuban Hawk, defending the world's welterweight title against Carmen Basilio, the challenger from nearby Canastota, New York, in a scheduled 15-round bout. Before the fight begins, Kid Gavilan is presented with a Cuban flag, an expression of admiration from his countrymen. The champion is a 4-to-1 favorite tonight. Basilio weighs 147 to Gavilan's 146 3/4. He meets Gavilan at the middle of the ring for last-minute instructions by New York City referee George Walsh. And, in a moment, round one. Both starting slowly, fencing with their lefts. This match is expected to go the distance. This is Gavilan's sixth defense of the welterweight title. Because of a cold, he was expected to have trouble paring down his weight to the 147-pound limit. Instead, it was challenger Carmen Basilio who came in a pound too heavy. It took 36 minutes for Basilio to sweat it out in a phone booth, as the profession calls it, and lose that excess pound. Basilio is a natural welterweight. Gavilan's normal weight, however, qualifies him more for the middleweight division. So here we have a champion fighting under two handicaps: a head cold, which hampered his training, and the punishment of making weight. Both are bound to affect his stamina. Gavilan, as you can see, is a Fancy Dan type of fighter who does a great deal of moving and leather throwing. His punches seem to have little real power. Still, they're causing Basilio's left eye to grow red, and that eye, we'll see later, is going to cause the challenger a lot of trouble. Basilio moves slower than Gavilan. He believes in power more than in speed. Of 50 professional fights, he has won 36, lost 10 with 4 draws. 17 have been by knockout. Kid Gavilan so far has KO'd 27 victims. He enters this fight, the 113th of his career, with 94 victories, 4 draws, 14 losses. Neither man has ever been stopped. Gavilan winging in a left hook, which just misses. The kid looking for an opening for his right. And here it is, followed by a good left to the body. Basilio is shaken up and his knees buckle as he seeks to tie up the champion. The referee warns Gavilan to break cleanly. Two rights by Gavilan. This action is typical of the last-minute flurries he employs so often just before the bell. Some of his critics charge that the kid saves all his fighting for the last 30 seconds of each round to catch the attention of the judges. Whatever the reason, it seems to have worked, for the officials awarded the round to Kid Gavilan. Round two. Let's watch for the knockdown. Gavilan flicks in his left. Basilio, moving away from it, looks for an opening. The challenger is an effective hitter with either hand. Gavilan forces his man back. Basilio bobs and weaves to escape Gavilan's left. A counter left by Basilio staggers the champion. Watch closely as two left hooks in rapid succession by Basilio send Gavilan sprawling to the canvas. And for the second time in 111 bouts, the champion is down. Gavilan takes a 9 count from referee Walsh. 7,000 fans are on their feet, electrified with excitement. Remember, this is Basilio's home territory, and from all over this War Memorial Auditorium come cries for a quick knockout. Basilio, a little wild as he attempts to press his advantage. That was the first time Gavilan had been knocked down since Ike Williams did it back in 1948. The champion pulling out of it very nicely, though. Gavilan ties up Basilio. He's remarkably cool and calculating after that knockdown. Gavilan is known to have one of the stoutest chins in the ring. No china in his mandibles. For a total of 25 rounds, he took the best shots thrown by Sugar Ray Robinson without once hitting the deck. The kid's punches seem to lack steam here, but they've been connecting with the challenger's head. Carmen's nose is bleeding. Basilio exerting a great deal of pressure. Watch him connect with a good left to the body. He's effective with both hands, but that left is easily his most damaging weapon. In the final seconds of round 2, we find Carmen Basilio a very competent challenger. Kid Gavilan, the world's welterweight champion in white trunks, begins round 3 carrying his guard high after being knocked down in the previous round. You'll notice that he keeps his head tilted slightly to the right. Carmen Basilio, the challenger, moves his hands in rhythmic motions, much like those used by a batter at the plate or a golfer on the tee. Both men have a wide stance. Gavilan about to get in 2 good lefts to the body that knocked the challenger off balance. Gavilan is very fast with his hands. Basilio comes back with a long left to the body, followed by a right. Carmen is an ex-Marine. He's 26 years old, 1 year younger than Gavilan, but nowhere near the champion in experience. Gavilan turns and shuffles away for a moment. That's a maneuver made famous by Jersey Joe Walcott to interrupt the action. Gavilan did it because Basilio was moving in, pressuring, and the kid wanted to make him change direction. Like Gavilan, Basilio has a stout chin. But Carmen, on style, has been more the club-fighting brawler, depending less on speed and more on aggressiveness, less on flash, more on power. Here comes a right-left combination by Basilio. Combinations are punches put together in sequence. Basilio ordinarily limits his combinations to 2 or 3 punches. Gavilan likes to fire in bursts, as he did at the close of round 1, and often explodes up to 5 and 6 blows in sequence. Watch Gavilan's right hand swing back to deliver this blow. There. A bolo. It's the champion's favorite, if not his most effective punch. We're going to find him throwing it again and again in the rounds ahead. A near sellout in War Memorial Auditorium, Syracuse, cheering their local hero, Carmen Basilio, as he racks up another frame at the end of round 3. Carmen Basilio, the challenger in dark trunks, displays a great deal of confidence after getting away to a fast start in his bid for the world's welterweight crown. Going into round 4, he's definitely the aggressor. See what Gavilan is doing? He's been circling to his left. Now he shifts direction and moves to his right. He's trying to confuse Basilio, trying to keep the challenger off balance. Gavilan naturally wants to avoid the left hook that floored him in the second stanza. The Keat is a cool, calculating ringman. He's what they call an old pro. A beautiful two-fisted attack to the body drives Gavilan to the ropes. Basilio, holding his man, is cautioned by referee Walsh, and the two fighters touch gloves. Basilio making a surprisingly good showing here in round 4. Watch Gavilan swing back his right to deliver another flashy bolo. That's the kid's most controversial weapon. It looks good from the gallery, but experts question its effectiveness. Some say most of the power is spent in the backswing. Others say it carries a tremendous psychological impact upon both the officials and the opponent. Effective or not, Gavilan continues to use it tonight. Now watch Basilio as he lashes out with two good lefts, driving Gavilan to the ropes for the second time in this round. That left is really a big punch for the challenger. Basilio, you notice, has switched to a body attack because Gavilan's weaving tactics make it difficult to connect with his jaw. Gavilan doing little but flicking in that left. And the champion catches a left as Basilio moves in, but the kid ties him up. Now Basilio goes in again and begins exerting pressure, fighting well inside, punching to the body. In the final seconds of round 4, I scored it the third in a row for Basilio. Round 5. Both still cautious, but now we'll see the champion in white trunks open up a bit. He knows he's trailing in this fight. Coming up, a pair of lefts to Basilio's head. But the challenger is still crowding. There's Gavilan flicking in his left to keep his man off balance. And Basilio misses a right. Gavilan tries a right to the head, but it's short. Kid Gavilan won the welterweight crown by beating Johnny Bratton in Madison Square Garden, May 18th, 1951. Oddly enough, his most recent defeat before meeting Basilio took place right here in beautiful War Memorial Auditorium, Syracuse, earlier in 1953 at the midst of Danny Bang Bang Womber. And now here's Basilio ahead on rounds. No wonder Carmen's local fans are cheering for an upset. Basilio moving in, catches a right to the head and a left to the jaw. But those punches don't seem to bother the challenger from Canastota, New York. He continues to crowd. Basilio misses a left and they go to close quarters. Here comes a glancing right to the head by Gavilan. See how Basilio rolls with a punch. The champion showing a good deal more aggressiveness here in round 5 than in the earlier rounds. Basilio's left eye becoming quite red now. It started to discolor early in the first round and is going to become more and more troublesome as the fight progresses. Basilio about to land a right to the body. Gavilan ties him up and forces him to the ropes. Referee Walsh has to separate them. After the bell ending round 5, a frame will score for Gavilan. Kid Gavilan in white trunks swings his arms in wide circles, trying to loosen the muscles made tense by a cold from which he's just recovered. We find the same pattern unfolding here in round 6. Basilio crowding, Gavilan retreating, and constantly shifting direction to disrupt the challenger's attack. Gavilan misses a right and takes a right from Basilio. Basilio gets in another right, beating Gavilan to the punch. Frequently, you'll find the kid with his back nearly against the ropes as he tries to maneuver. He feels the pressure being exerted by Basilio. Look closely, and you'll see that Gavilan's right is free in the clinch. He's landing short jolts to the chin, uppercuts. But apparently none had much power. Without a doubt, Gavilan's low weight is reducing his effectiveness tonight. He tipped the scales at 154 a month earlier when he met Tiger Jones. But for Basilio, the kid from Cuba is down to less than 147 pounds. Now watch this. A left hook from Basilio will drive Gavilan toward the ropes again. And the kid continues to shift direction. Gavilan moving in and out behind his left hand, but retreating. Slowly, constantly retreating. The champion feinting with his head and shoulders, searching for an opening, but failing to find it. Gavilan's bobbing and weaving, trying all the tricks he knows. He throws a right and a left that fail to land. But now he is landing with both hands as they slug at close quarters. Basilio concentrating on the body. Gavilan backs his man to the ropes and lands 3 rights to the jaw before referee Walsh separates them. Basilio neatly blocks a left by Gavilan. Now you are seeing another last-minute flurry by the kid, but it comes too late to win the stanza. I called round 6 even. Round 7. During the intermission between the last round and this, Angel Lopez, Gavilan's manager, standing just a few feet away from us, shouted down, "The weight killed him." He meant that Gavilan's weight making had sapped his stamina. Remember, the kid from Cuba is down 7 pounds from his weight of just a month before. Both men beginning the round cautiously. Basilio about to miss a sweeping right. Gavilan's jabs are short. He's been flicking them in more for their nuisance value than for power. He wants to upset the pattern of Basilio's advance and work out an opening. Basilio's left and right find their mark despite Gavilan's counter. Now the challenger's about to land a beautiful left to the jaw. As Basilio rushes in, Gavilan attempts to roll with those punches, but they landed just the same. Gavilan stung into action, but Basilio ties him up. Watch him land a left to the jaw. Remember, War Memorial Auditorium is in Syracuse, New York, and Carmen Basilio, wearing dark trunks, comes from nearby Canastota. And this hometown crowd is cheering for him to lift the world's welterweight crown from Cuba's Kid Gavilan. Basilio countering nicely off the ropes, firing first to the head and now to the body. This infighting session definitely belongs to the challenger. Now you notice that even though Basilio has his back to the ropes, he's still in command as round 7 draws to a close. He's still the aggressor. Gavilan is obviously finding it difficult to solve the challenger's style. This round goes to Basilio, but that left eye of his is growing redder and redder, and also puffy, and it's a definite handicap. Going into round 8, the fight so far belongs to the challenger, Carmen Basilio. He's ahead on the scorecards of all 3 ring officials. But the attempts of his corner to control the swelling of Carmen's left eye have not been entirely successful. Basilio, going into a bob and weave, makes Gavilan miss a right. Watch Basilio come in with a left hook, getting under Gavilan's counter right. And they go to close quarters. Oh, how Basilio wants to drop in that left-hand bomb again. Win or lose, the challenger gets 20% of the $46,000 gate, plus a similar cut of the TV melon. Gavilan takes 40%. Gavilan still flicking in his jab, landing a right. Basilio punching back with both hands. Again, Gavilan moves in, missing 2 lefts, and Basilio ties him up. Now watch how Basilio picks off a right by Gavilan. See Carmen block that punch with his left forearm? Gavilan about to miss a right and a left. And here comes Gavilan's famous bolo punch. Watch his right. It was partially blocked, so he tries another. But Basilio takes it on his arm. The kid tries bolo number 3. That one also does little damage. Basilio's left eye is slowly closing. The kid flurrying, but Basilio staying right with him. They wrestle to the ropes, but Gavilan fails to land solidly. He tries another bolo that misses. Here comes another. It glances off Carmen's forehead. Referee Walsh separates them just before the bell, ending round 8. Another frame for Basilio. Because the outcome of this fight is so controversial, as we'll see later on, let's take a moment in round 9 to tally the scorecards of the 3 ring officials. In New York, officials score by the round system, with supplementary points per round to be used in case of a draw. At this stage of the bout, Judge Harold Barnes has scored it 2 rounds for Gavilan, 5 for Basilio, 1 even. Judge Jack Kimball called it 3 for Gavilan, 4 for Basilio, and 1 even. Referee George Walsh, 2 for Gavilan, 5 for Basilio, and 1 even. So you see, all 3 officials closely agreed that the fight so far is Basilio's. Let's see what happens now. Can the champion pull it out? Round 9, like the others before it, has begun cautiously. The champion in white trunks seems cool. They move to close quarters, but there's no damage done. Basilio's left eye is half shut now. A glancing right to Basilio's head. Gavilan still jabbing, using this blow not only to keep the challenger off balance, but to maneuver for an opening. And a sweeping right by Basilio finds the mark. That swollen left eye is giving Basilio trouble. In a right-hander stance, that's the front eye, so to speak. Once in a fight with Ike Williams, Gavilan's left eye was closed completely. So, the kid switched and became a southpaw. Watch. A left hook by Gavilan will draw a good counter right from Basilio. Frequently, you'll see Carmen waiting for the kid to move, then throwing in his own counterpunch. In the final seconds, we'll tab round 9 for Gavilan, his 3rd winning frame on our scorecard. Round 10. In the interval between rounds 9 and 10, Basilio's cornermen were keeping his left eye packed under ice to reduce the swelling. Still, the eye is half shut. Basilio, in dark trunks, is ahead so far in this scheduled 15-round bout for the world's welterweight crown. Both men took a pretty solid pounding in the early rounds, but the damage is more visible on Basilio. Gavilan was on the deck in the 2nd round, felled by a solid left hook from Basilio. Both fighters evenly matched in weight, with Gavilan holding a height advantage. The kid stands 5'10" to Carmen's 5'6½". Gavilan using fewer bolo punches now after finding them ineffective. But to prove that he hasn't given up on them completely, he's going to try 2 more, doubling up with his right hand. Watch. There they are. Gavilan misses the right as Basilio blocks the left by falling inside. Gavilan still working cautiously and yet doing more gambling now because he knows he's behind. Carmen Basilio proving a strong, rugged challenger. A left, half hook, half bolo, blocked by Basilio as he again falls in close. Gavilan working on the head in the clinch, and Basilio's nose once again is starting to bleed. It was bleeding in the second round. Both seeking an opening in which to start a barrage or go to work with combinations. See how Gavilan pounds Basilio's swollen left eye. They touch gloves after holding on the break at the end of round 10. The second frame in a row for Gavilan. Challenger Carmen Basilio moves to the center of the ring and grimaces as he catches a pair of lefts to the head. That painful left eye is nearly closed now, despite all the efforts of his corner to prevent the swelling. Gavilan staying busy with that left, keeping the challenger off balance, fighting to come from behind. The champion is forced now to pull himself up by his bootstraps, for he's trailing his opponent. Basilio's nose is still bleeding. It began in round 2, then stopped for a while. But Gavilan, jabbing sharply to the head, started the nose bleeding again in round 10. It hasn't stopped here in round 11. Gavilan comes in with a left to the body, and Basilio ties him up. Gavilan seems to be getting stronger. Basilio weakening. Watch this lead right to the jaw by Gavilan. A pip. Basilio's right to the body draws a counter right by the kid. Gavilan, with that annoying left hand, keeps working on Basilio's swollen eye and bleeding nose. He's punching far more sharply now. Now you'll see Gavilan break into that peculiar shuffle again, moving first to his right, then shifting to his left. He's trying to throw Basilio off his line of advance. But the challenger pounds him to the ropes. Gavilan flares back. A glancing right to the jaw drives Basilio back to the ropes. Gavilan definitely has found his second win. And round 11 is a clean-cut win for Gavilan. Basilio's cornermen have been working on that swollen left eye. Kid Gavilan in the opposite corner has won the last 3 rounds, but he's going to find plenty of fight left in the challenger. A left hook by Basilio. The 26-year-old ex-Marine, who had a comfortable lead early in the fight, has seen that lead slowly evaporate. And now you'll see him battling desperately to regain control. Watch Gavilan in white trunks come in with a right-left, followed by the controversial bolo. See how Basilio partially blocked that bolo? He's coming back well here in round 12. You'll see Gavilan missing with both hands. Referee George Walsh separates the men with a warning to Basilio for failing to make a clean break. Basilio countering beautifully with a left-right as Gavilan moved in. Gavilan trying to force the pace. Basilio countering nicely and catching the kid as he backs to the ropes. Basilio's making a surprisingly good comeback in round 12. He's landing effectively, despite the handicap of a swollen left eye. Gavilan easing off the pace, watching his chance. Now you'll see the champion come in winging with one of his patented finishes. The attempt comes too late, and round 12 goes to Basilio. Kid Gavilan comes out a bit slowly as he answers the bell for round 13. He's tired. The kid had trouble making weight for this match, a scheduled 15-rounder for the welterweight crown. And here we have a real indication that his stamina is failing. And yet, Gavilan always fights best when his title is on the line. Also, he knew he was trailing the challenger early in the fight. Basilio is tiring too. His left eye is practically closed. Two left hooks by Gavilan rocked Basilio partially off balance. Basilio's about to try a long-range right. A miss. The challenger landing very little now. Gavilan gets set to wrap a right around Basilio's neck as the challenger moves in onto the punch. In that last exchange, the only blow that landed was Basilio's early left to the jaw. Gavilan keeps flicking his left in Carmen's face, working on the swollen eye and injured nose. The kid has been using his left effectively in his comeback to keep Basilio off balance. Here comes another right-hand bolo by Gavilan, followed by a left that's partially blocked by Basilio. They touch gloves, each man feeling he had been slow on the break. The end of round 13, which I called even. A tired Basilio retires to his corner. Joe Nitro and Johnny DeJohn, working the corner, are Carmen Basilio's co-managers. He has no trainer. Round 14. You can see that Basilio is now adapting a more squared-away stance. Because his left eye is swollen nearly shut, the challenger is forced to swing his head and shoulders around in order to see out of the right eye. As Gavilan tries a left, Basilio misses a right counter. Both men are tired, trying to make every punch count as we come to the final 2 rounds of this bout for the world's welterweight crown. There have been no knockdowns since the second round, when a left hook by Basilio put the champion on the deck for a 9 count. Gavilan scoring with short rights to the head. He was pummeling the ear area. Gavilan moving in, digs a left to the body, and Basilio ties him up. The champion again coming back strong, but Basilio still dangerous. Watch Carmen's right. Now Gavilan with a left hook gets inside a left by the challenger. Basilio missed with that counter as he went to the ropes. Again, the challenger is back to the ropes. Gavilan moving in and pummeling the body. A noticeably stronger champion, Kid Gavilan in white trunks, again forces his man to the ropes. So far in this round, Basilio has been backed against 3 sets of strands. There's the bell ending round 14, and we'll score it for Gavilan. On the left is Gavilan's trainer, Montito Medina. Outside the ropes is Angel Lopez, manager. El Gavilan, the Hawk, is named after a restaurant in Havana, owned by a former manager. The fighter's real name is Gerardo Gonzalez. Watch the champion, and you'll see him throwing nothing but lefts here in the opening moments of round 15, the final round of a title bout for the world's welterweight title. A crowd of near sellout proportions in War Memorial Auditorium, Syracuse, is solidly behind Carmen Basilio, the challenger from nearby Canastota. They expect expect to see a new champion crowned here tonight. It's been a close fight. So far, I've got it 6 rounds for Gavilan, 6 for Basilio, and 2 even. Gavilan still relying on his left and trying to avoid Basilio's left. The hand that brought the champion to the deck in round 2 for the 2nd time in his career. Can he pull this one out? This round should tell the story. The Kid has had a rough evening. Basilio tries a left and a right, but they both miss. Now Gavilan is landing those lefts as he snaps Basilio's head back. A sweeping left by Basilio misses as Gavilan continues firing those staccato lefts. Gavilan wants to work on Carmen's swollen eye and injured nose. The champion moving well now, apparently full of confidence. A flurry, but neither man is landing solidly. Basilio's tired, but Gavilan seems to have found his 2nd win. He's moving well and looks even better compared with a waning challenger. Basilio trying one last flurry, missing and being pushed into a corner in the final seconds of the round. And there's the bell. You can get a good look now at Basilio's left eye. It's nearly closed. The gloves are cut from Gavilan's hands. Basilio's happy. He thinks he won the fight. So does Judge Jack Kimball, a local official, who tabbed it for the challenger. 7 rounds to 5 with 3 even. Judge Harold Barnes scored it 7-6-2 for Gavilan. Referee George Walsh, 8-6-1 in favor of Gavilan. So the winner and still welterweight champion of the world is Kid Gavilan. The crowd is booing the split decision, and the challenger protests he was robbed. There's an old truism in the ring that titles rarely change hands on a fight as close as this one. What do you think? Did Carmen Basilio really lose? A big fight